Hi, I'm Tiffany Windsor from Cool to Craft, and I'm Aleene's daughter. This Mama Aleene's vintage technique uses the Aleene's bread dough recipe, which is a slice of white bread and a tablespoon of Aleene's tacky glue. I want to thank my sister Heidi Borchers for recreating this vintage project. Here's a list of the materials. When you are working in larger batches of dough, it's easy to create. Remove the crust and put the pieces into a food processor. Chop and grind for about 20 seconds to create the perfect consistency. To keep the dough from sticking in this next step, here's a hint from Heidi. Rub the inside of your bowl with cold cream and add the breadcrumbs. With 3 slices of bread, use 2½ tablespoons of Aleene's tacky glue. You can always add more if needed. Stir with a craft stick until a ball starts to form. Add some cold cream to your hands and grab that dough and start kneading it. Keep kneading for about 5 minutes, and if it still feels sticky, dip it into the cornstarch. Repeat until you have a smooth dough ball, and be sure to store it in a container or zip bag until you are ready to use. When looking for a vase, find one with lots of texture. I found this vase that was filled with artificial greenery and foam at the thrift store, so I had to remove everything from the inside. As you can see, Heidi has prepared this step with large pea-sized pieces of the bread dough, Aleene's tacky glue, and a sprinkle of cornstarch. For the flour, dip the dough in Aleene's tacky glue and press onto the vase. Repeat to glue 5 balls for petals. Dip the end of the marker into the cornstarch to keep the dough from sticking, and use the end to push into the balls to form a petal shape. Glue 1 ball for the center and use the end of a small paintbrush to press indentations. For the stems, roll pieces of the dough into long, narrow ropes. Apply a line of glue from the bottle onto the vase and press the rolls into the glue. Form another dough ball into a leaf shape. Press the edge of the knife into the cornstarch and press into the dough to create a vein. Glue the pieces next to the flowers and the stems. Continue adding small balls of dough for the tiny flowers, more small leaves, and buds. To make the bee, shape a ball into a leaf. Dip the edge of the knife into cornstarch and press pattern lines for the bee body. Glue in place on the vase along with the head. Roll small balls and press to flatten for the wings. Add patterns with the knife, shape, and glue in place. Let your dough dry completely. Depending on the humidity, this could take several days. I like to leave my dough in front of a fan to accelerate the drying. Be sure to remove any excess cornstarch. When the dough is completely dry in a well-ventilated area, spray over the entire surface of the vase and let it dry completely. Add a second coat if needed. To paint the designs, use a small brush to apply the acrylic paint. You'll notice on this vintage technique, you do not need to paint the sides of the raised dough. Let the paint dry completely. Some crafters really like this technique with the bright colors, but for a vintage effect, you can antique over the entire piece. Thin your acrylic paint 50-50 with water and apply with a soft brush. Remember, when antiquing, it's always best to start light and add layers of color. Use a wet wipe to pull back the color. Continue painting and wiping or dabbing away the color immediately. When the paint is dry, spray on a light coat of sealer. You have now created a Mama Aleene's vintage bread dough floral vase.